Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video we will create an animated JavaScript counter. I have the demo right here, so whenever I refresh this page we see that this counter starts to count up from 0. So I'm gonna build this functionality from scratch using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And if you want to follow along with me, that's you're more than welcome. If not, I'm gonna leave a link in the description where you can find the source code. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna create a new folder, and I'm gonna name it JS counter and then open it here, and I'm gonna open my VS Code. Alright, and I'm gonna start with my index.html file, and I'm gonna create another file. Now it's gonna be style.css, and let's create the script.js. And I'm gonna start with index.html, and this is gonna be an HTML5. And here I'm gonna write the title as JavaScript counter, and below the title I want to import this CSS file, so I'll type in link rel style.css. Oh, what am I doing, guys? Here this is gonna be a style sheet, and the graph, it's gonna be style.css. Okay, now in our body section, here we will have a div ID, which is gonna be main, and then here we will have another, it's gonna be a title, so we will have a div class title, and the title is gonna be JavaScript counter. Okay, now below this title we will have another div class counters, and here we will have the counters. So we'll have a div like this, and then div ID counter, and attribute is gonna be count2, and the first one is 8,000. Like here we got 8,000, and then we close this div, and here where the content is we leave it empty. And then below we'll have another div which is gonna be likes, and we want to add 2 more counters like this one. One is gonna be for videos, and the third one is gonna be for subscribers. This is gonna be 2,000, and the last one 4,000, and this is gonna be subscribers. Okay, let's save it. Let's open our style CSS, and let's create these IDs and classes in our style.css file. Now the first thing is the body, so we have body, and here margin 0, padding 0, background color is gonna be DD, a little bit darker than white, and font family is gonna be Segoe UI. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correct, but this is what I used in this app. and then we have the ID main, and here we have the background color white, and then we have width 100%, max width 500 pixels, display table, margin on top is 10%, on the sides is auto, and then we have border radius of 3 pixels. Okay, and then now is the next one is the title, div class title. So we have title, and here we have background color. It's 27A497, which is a kind of green, and the color, text color, is white, and then padding 10 pixels, and border top right radius, it's 3 pixels, and for the left one is also 3 pixels. Alright, and then we have text align center, and we have font weight bold. Okay, let's see what's next. Next is the counters. So we have counters, and here we have, let's see what we've got on the screen. Counters. Okay, we have counters, and this is going to be display flex, and then we have all these 3 other counters. So let's start with, let's add the padding 10 pixels, and list 10 pixels, display flex, and now we've got div, so it's like we have counters, well, you know guys, I messed it up here a little bit, because here it should be just one div of counters, and see, we've got the counters, so we should get rid of this one and this one. So we've got a div counters. I did it by mistake, sorry about that guys. So we have a div counters, and then we have these counters in div in the main div. Alright, and here where we have our counters, we've got display flex, padding 10 pixels, and now we have a div in our counters, a div for each counter. So we'll have counters div, and this is gonna be width 100%, and then we have text align center, and the next one is the div ID counter. So we have ID counter, and this is let's just assign the font weight bold, like this. Okay, now here I'm using, let me just close this tab, that's the old one, and I'm using a live server, so I'll just right click on my index.html file, open with live server. This is gonna open up a new tab, and this one is having my mockup, it's the HTML and CSS. I'm gonna close this. But if you don't have live server, just go on extensions and search for live server and just install it. So this one is basically helping me a lot, because I don't have, whenever I save the file from my project, I don't have to refresh the page after each update of my files. All right, we have this attribute here. Just make sure everything looks fine. I did a small boo-boo, and I'm apologize for that, but make sure everything looks fine. And after that, let's import our JavaScript file. It's gonna be the last element. So we have script. Uh, like this, and the source is script.js. Alright, and then let's open our JavaScript file. We can close this style CSS because we don't need it anymore. So here basically we should grab this because this is the limit. This is what we want to see here in this div. It's 8,000, but we want to make it so our JavaScript is gonna count up till 8,000. But first of all, we should read the stuff we have here. And to do that, we should copy everything we have. I mean, not copy, but assign all these counters to a variable in JavaScript, and then from there using we should loop through that variable and then get all the content we need. So first of all, let me just leave a comment here and say counters in case your project is big and you want to split your code down. So there's gonna be a variable which is speed, and let's leave it to 100 for now. And here I was saying that we should assign these three divs to a variable, or let's just loop through all of them and get the content. So to do that, we should type in document dot query selector, and then here we get the counter, ID counter. And then here we have the for each loop. So using the query selector, we get all the IDs, all div IDs. So we get all of them, like 1, 2, and 3. So that's what we get right now. And using the for each loop, for each, and we look through all these counters, which are 3. We already know that there are 3 counters. And here we will have a variable which is gonna be counter number, and we assign the counter dot get attribute count 2. Const like this. Alright, so what we do here is after we get all these counters in our JavaScript, and we get one by one, we have for each loop. So we get the first one, for example, which is 8,000 right now. We get the first one, and we check, we assign this data from the count to attribute. See, get the attribute count to, and we assign that number to our counter number variable. Now below here we will have another const update count, and we assign to this update count a set interval so we have we set interval, and this is gonna be ES6, and here is supposed to have function, but we don't because it's ES6. Alright, this set interval is setting an interval on recalling. It's like a how is that called? This is like a recursive function. That's it. So here we have set interval, and we have another variable which is const div content. Div content. Here make sure you add a plus, which means we want to get just the integer number, the int. Of course it's int right now in our HTML, but this plus, if you have something like 8000 plus 8000 dot or 8000.5, for example, it's not gonna get 5, it's gonna get just the integer number. So we have here div content. Now we assign the content from, we get the content we have here. And the first time when it runs, we don't have anything, so it's gonna be empty, but we should still assign it. So we get like div content, and we get plus content dot inner text. That's how we get the content from our, what is this? This needs to be counter, like this. All right, and then below here we have another const, and this is going to be increased by. If you don't understand, guys, right now, I will go through this one more time just to make sure we get all these parts, everything straight up. So we have counter number speed divided by speed, so we get increased by, it's going to be the step, because whenever it counts, there are a few steps. It says like, for example, 0 plus something, and then that something plus something else. So it's like it's step by step. It's adding, it's counting, it's increasing the number by different steps. All right, and then below here we will have an if. So here we check if div content is not greater than counter number. So div content is if what we have here, because right now we don't have anything, but what we have here, which is empty, if that is not greater than the counter number, and the counter number is the count t, which is this number. If it's not, then we get counter dot inner HTML, and we assign the math dot seal, and here we have div content plus increase by. Okay, so we have, if it's not, then that means that this number needs to be, it's still counting up. We should still add some more numbers to it until it's 8000. So what we do here, we use div content, we get the content from our div, which may be a different number, I don't know, 0 for example, and then we add the increase by, which increase by is the counter number, which is 8000 divided by 200, which is the speed. All right, and then we output that in on our page. And then if not, then we clear the interval. So clear interval, and as a parameter we have the update count, like this. And then here we have a comma and put 1, because we want to recall this stuff every millisecond. All right, and every millisecond is gonna see is gonna animate on the screen. So let's see if everything is fine. Let's go on the page. It's not working. I guess there's an error. So we have query selector for each is not a function. Okay, let's see. Document. Oh, selector all. Select all. And it's still not working. Let's see. Select all. Counter. Dot for each counter. And we have const counter number counter dot get attribute count t. All right, const update count set interval const div content counter dot inner text const increase by counter number divided by speed, div content count counter number counter dot inner HTML math. This needs to be math. Sorry about that, guys. It's kind of late and I'm just getting tired. I'm missing all this misspellings. Okay, so let's save this one. Let's go back and let's see what's going on here. It's still not working. Let's see. Okay, we got that. Div increase by, if not clear. That's weird. Let's see our file. So our file is here. Okay, let's console log here. Let's see if we get the counter. So yeah, we get the counter, 4 of them, 3 of them, and then here counter. Let's see if we get the actual counter number. Yeah, so it looks like it's 8,000, 3,000, 4,000. Well, because I misspelled it here, of course. So again, okay, so it needs to be count T like this. It doesn't read the stuff from here. Alright, let's save it. Let's go back. So there you go. It works now. Let me just remove this console log from here and this one from here. Alright, save it, go back, refresh, and everything works fine. So that's it, guys, for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you like the video, please thumbs up, subscribe for my channel, and I will see you in the next tutorial.